Good afternoon everyone. On the part of daily mains question practice. Okay, let's start with the explanation class regarding the yesterday's 3 questions. I gave you yesterday 3 questions, 2 from the Indian polity and 1 from the editorial, Hindu editorial. It is also known as a dynamic question. It is related to current issues or important current issues of that day. Okay, this is what it is much more useful for UPSC as well as Group 1 services, but mostly it is in view of the UPA, Union Public Service Commission examination, so that we can meet even the Group 1 services also. It is related to descriptive type questions. Okay, everyone invariably facing one toughest task regarding to become effective as far as the producing effective answers. So answer writing, daily answer writing is very important for those who are aspiring to become IAS and Group 1 services, etc., etc. So UPSC mains related. Okay, let's start with the 3 questions, yesterday 3 questions, so that we can get a lot of things. Okay, the first question, it is related to Indian polity. Okay, it is a basic question as well. The first question, read it. Compare the fundamental rights with directive principles of state policy, DPSPs. Why do the DPSPs have got more prominence in the ongoing Amrit Kal? Discuss. These yellow marking things are question tags. These are important question tags. Before getting into this answer discussion, I want to tell you the most important components of the question. What are the components are there in each and every questions of UPSC? Okay, each and every questions having 5 components. Number 1 is important keywords. Or question tags. And another one is important things, limiting words. I will tell you later. Limiting words. Okay, these are all these things, 5 components: keywords, question tags, and limiting words, and another important thing, subparts of the question. There are 2 subparts in each question. That is also important. Okay, in these 5 components you should identify in each and every question. The first thing is the question tags and keywords. These are more important. For example, as far as the question tags are concerned, okay, what are the question tags? Compare and discuss. You should know exact meanings of these question tags. For example, compare. Okay, now this compare the fundamental rights with the directive principles of state policy. That is the first question, sub question of this major question. Okay, what do you mean by compare? That is what important. Unless you will fail to produce complete comprehensive answer. Compare is nothing but both similarities plus differences. Okay, compare is nothing but both similarities as well as differences. Okay, as far as this question is concerned, compare the fundamental rights with the directive principles of state policy. Now you should first you should identify the similarities between the fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. Then the differences between the fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy. This is what important. Okay, now let's discuss about the fundamental rights with the fundamental rights and the directive principles. What are the similarities are there? Similarities is nothing but both these fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy are their main concern is to establish welfare state. That's why these 2 are the important components, 2 important pillars of the Indian Constitution. That's what the similarities. What is that similarity? Both are combinedly aimed at to create a welfare state. That's what similarity. Both are very important parts of the Indian Constitution. This is from the 12th to 35th constitutions. Okay, this is from the 36th to 51 articles. Okay, this is the 12th to 35. This is from 36 to 51 articles. This is very, very important parts of the Indian Constitution. Both are aiming at each other. Both are aiming at to create a welfare state. Both are mutually interdependent, mutually not exclusive. This is what the similarities between the fundamental FR and directive principles of state policy. That's what. And as far as the differences are concerned, This is from the 12th to 35th. This is from the 36th to 51 articles. This is third and this is the fourth part of the constitution. And also another important, these are the enforceable in nature, legally enforceable FRs. These are not enforceable legally. Okay, in order to this fundamental rights, directly it will be implemented once this constitution, since the constitution came into effect, these are came into effect. Whereas the directive principles of state policy, directly it will not enforceable. Parliament through acts only it will be effective, otherwise no. Okay, this is what the another important difference between these two. And another the most important core difference between this FR and DPSPs are FR are aimed at to provide a personal freedom, individual rights, individual freedom. It is nothing to do with the state. State, it is and also imposing restrictions on the state. Whereas DPSP, these are the guiding, advocating to the state what state should do. So in other words, these DPSPs are aimed to serve the society at large. Whereas the FRs to serve the individual, to provide the individual freedom. Okay, whereas this one social benefit at large. Okay, these are imposed restrictions of the government or state. These are the guiding the state what should do in the governance process, in the state's governance process. This is what the major important differences as well as similarities between the FRs and directive principles of state policy. Now comes to some other part, some second sub part of this question. What is this? Why do the DPSPs, directive principles of state policies, have got more prominence in the ongoing Amrit Kal? Okay, Indian government initiated this Amrit Kal from 2022 to up to 2047. This 25 years period is known as the Amrit Kal, you know. Okay, already it has been passing around 1.5 years. So why the DPSPs got more prominence during Amrit Kal? Okay, Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister in some occasion he quoted that so far for the last 75 years we have been focusing on the rights, the fundamental rights. Whereas this is the time to focus on the responsibilities towards the society. This is what he mentioned. Okay, what is the responsibilities? State responsibilities, individual responsibilities. Include this DPSPs like fundamental duties also. What are the, and as far as the duties and this DPSPs are both are similar in nature in some other, most of the areas. Okay, so this is the time to focus on the society at large, along with to focusing on the affairs, not neglecting. So what are the directive principles of from the article 36 to up to 51? Very important things are the like nutrition, child rights, women, equality, and panchayats, directive uniform civil codes, etc., etc. These are very important to establish socio-economic justice, to provide socio and economic justice for the people, which means welfare states. Okay, what is the use without the social and economic justice? What is the importance of the fundamental rights? What is the use of this individual rights? So both combinedly they can establish the welfare state. That is why in order to establish the welfare state, so far we failed to establish this welfare state. That's why letter I see so less than various compared with various developing countries. Nutrition, starvation, of course not starvation, severe hunger in various parts of the country. So discrimination on the basis of the caste, sex, region, etc. Discriminations have been continuing. Another important thing is this disparities, increasing these differences between among the regions, among the sections, among the communities, among the various sects, various rural areas and urban areas, digital divides, etc. These disparities, around 6 disparities are there. These increasing disparities. So more important concern. So unless we fill these gaps as far as this disparity, various disparities are concerned, we can't become the developed nation. Though we become developed nation at macro level, okay, because by 2047 India is going to become one of the major economy, second largest economy in the world. What is the use unless we fill the gaps? So according to this Oxfam report, only 1% of the total population of our nation is controlling around how much? 30% of Indian wealth. The below 50% of the population is controlling only 3% of asset. This it corroborates. Okay, it is irrefutably providing this. What are the differences? Wealth differences. So we should reduce these disparities between the rural and urban, etc., etc. Otherwise, no use. That's why these directive principles of state policy are the means to reduce that gaps, or else to provide socio-economic justice to all sections, all regions of the people. So that is why during Amrit Kal target is to make our country a developed nation. During this period, these directive principles of state policy have got more prominence because of these reasons. In that way, you have to produce the question. 250 words questions. Okay, time limit is important. Time limit is 12 minutes. Okay, next let's come to second question. Since the independence, socially, economically, India enters into the third generation. Okay, be careful. Since the independence, socially, economically, India enters into third generation, but politically still remains in the first generation due to degraded is nothing but degraded political system. Discuss with suitable suggestions. You should discuss and you should give the suggestions part is around 25% part of this question only. Remaining part you should discuss. What do you mean by discuss? This is also question tag. Okay, we will have another sessions after 1 week. Okay, now regarding this question tag, some parts of the question, don't worry. Now focus on this. What is that? What do you mean by discuss? Discuss is nothing but to discuss and to explain or to discuss this issue in 360 degrees angle. 360 degrees is nothing but, okay, this okay, 360 degrees angle is nothing but socially, economically, politically and cultural and various other dimensions. This is what important. So we should discuss the issue in all dimensions, almost all dimensions, around 12 dimensions are there. What are the 12 dimensions? Okay, socially, economically, politically, culturally, philosophically and psychologically, in all dimensions you should discuss. That's what they discuss. Discuss is the very important question tag compared with other around 25 question tags, around 27 question tags are there. So regard out of all, discuss is the most important broad word, most important broad word. Just wait. Okay, this is what. So as far as this question is concerned, since independence, India entered into third generation socially, economically. But as far as the political system is, still remains to be in the first generation. This is a very important question. You need a broad understanding regarding India's socio-economic and political dimensions of India, overall India. So look at this socially. So since independence, for the last 75 years, socially India entered into third generation. What do you mean by third generation? Around 75 years. Each generation around 25 to 30 years. Third generation, which means socially India transformed a lot. So look at the India at the time of independence, it's a joint family system. Okay, caste domination is so high. So various socially, so traditional society. Now look at after 75 years of independence, now in 2022, especially by 1990 and since 1990 up to now, Indian social system, social fabric has been transformed in a way. For example, joint family system has been collapsed. Now this single family, single parent system. Okay, this is what one kind of. And most of the families are rural oriented at that time, land communities. Now a lot of changes has been happened socially. Caste domination has been reduced drastically. No caste, intercaste marriages are happening. For example, marriage system has been transformed. Now it is for example, living relationship is not uncommon in some parts, metro cities. Okay, divorces are more divorces. Okay, compared to at the independence time. The globalized impact is also changed a lot this social system. In this way, socially we have been transforming, we have been transferred a lot for the last 75 years. Similarly, as far as the economically also, India has been transformed a lot. At the time of independence, around 45% has been, the GDP has been contributed by agriculture. Now what? Around 13% by 2014-13. Okay, it has been reduced by around 15% now, this from the agriculture. Okay, the services sector very less at that time. Now it is reached around 60%. Industry, India become the 8th largest industrial country. So in the three sector, economically India has been changed a lot. Okay, up to this economical transformation we can divide it into two. Up to 1990, since 90, after the globalization. Now India has been globalized, yet to globalized country. In terms of this one, consumerism has been increased. So this socially, economically, mutual in nature. So socially, economically, we have been transformed a lot, entered into third generation. But however, what about the political system? So since independence up to now, same family parties, okay, same political domination, no political reforms. But however, it has been reduced. In what way? Decadent political system, political corruption, okay, has been increased. We had to implement this local governance, Article 40 of the Directive Principles of State Policy. Still they are in different deliberated position. They had to get the powers and this economical strength from this central and state governments, local governance. So politicians becoming more dangerous for this system, more dangerous. We don't use this word. They are not augur well for this transforming, socially, economically transforming India. So still social political system, secrecy is there, not open. For example, the recent news electoral bonds. The government refused to provide the divulge the information regarding the electoral reform. That's what this electoral bond still secretive. So RTA is not applicable to some political system. So Indian political this legislative bodies around, according to ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms, around 40% of our MPs are criminal, severe criminal background. Out of 25 to 40%, 25 more severe cases. So which means out of 793 MPs, 40% MPs are having this criminal background, according to Association for Democratic Reforms. So in this way, decadent political system, it yet to change. Still this political system is in the first generation. So there is a need of the very important thing is we should reform it at any cost. There is a political system. So very important. What kind of suggestions you should give these political reforms? What? Internal democracy in every political party. So we should get the clue from the Western nations like United Kingdom and United States of America, where our Indians they are becoming the top constitutional posts in their respective nations. For example, Rishi Sunak, Ramaswamy, Naik, etc., etc. But the same at the age of around 44, Sunak became the British Prime Minister. If he had been in India, in the words of the Shashi Tharoor, he could not have become the MP. For example, the same Wipro. This is the son-in-law of the Wipro, R. Narayan Murthy. Okay, whereas the same one of the founder of the Wipro, Neelankini Kudri, he could not become the MP from the Bangalore if he competed. So that is the problem, because there is no political transparent system is there. India is a democratic country, so no question. But we can't claim India is the mother of democracy, because the these developed nations are more advanced compared to India as far as the political system, because it is not all inclusive, this political system. So we should make it all inclusive. The political parties, India is a democratic country, but Indian political parties, this is the very important pillar for the Indian democracy. Political parties are still family dominant. They various, most of 90% of the regional parties in India family parties. Even in the national level also, Prime Minister talked about this one. In the words of the Prime Minister, this dynastic politics. We can't rule out. Yes, we have the dynastic politics. So internal democracy in every political party important. Political reforms is important, and strengthening the anti-defection law and Representative People's Act 1951, 1950, etc., etc. And the model code of conduct strictly we should implement. and also this political reduce of this caste, religion and money power, muscle power in the electoral system. That is what important. So and still this only average voting is 67%. What about the remaining 33%? 33% is more than US population, which means around 30 crores of the Indian voters are not coming to exercise their franchise because they are hating. So that is what, this is the indication, one of the important. In that way you have to substantiate your answer. So this way you should give the suggestions. So next, third important question, this is the dynamic question. What is this question? Discuss the importance of having a vision 2047, that is India at 100, to transform and convert India into a developed nation by 2047. Okay, yesterday Hindu editorial in the sideline, the virtue of the planning, blueprint to develop India by 2047. The Niti Aayog is preparing a blueprint for the Amritkal period to convert India into a developed nation by 2047. That is India at 100. So by 2000, on the year of 2047, India is going to celebrate its 100th Independence Day. So on the eve of, by that time, what we should do? That is the Amritkal. Okay, so in the Niti Aayog is contemplating and preparing a blueprint, a road map or a vision document to convert India into a developed nation. Now what I asked to discuss the importance of having such a vision document. What is important? After Niti Aayog, for example, earlier planning commission has been scrapped, was scrapped in 2014. Since then, we don't have any 5-year plans. 5-year on the short term or medium term plans. So now it is the time to have a long-term plan, long-term vision. So for the next 25 years, we should have a vision. So that is important. For example, there is a look at the China. China has the long-term vision, long-term plans are there. So this kind of lacuna is India is a handicap towards India's aspiration to become a developed nation. That's why we need a long-term approach, long-term roadmap. For that purpose, vision document of 2047 is important. Okay, another important thing is India is a highly diversified nation. A huge social diversity is there, economic diversity is there, political various diversities are there. A huge subcontinent in size. That's why overall India is going to become a third largest or second largest economy by 2047, no doubt at all. But what about the micro level? Okay, macro level, on an average, India will become $30 trillion economy. Without a vision document also, of course less than $30 trillion. But if you have a long-term this vision document, road map, so we can become a $30 trillion economy, no doubt at all. For that purpose, we need to grow at the rate of around 10%. That is a double-digit GDP growth. For that purpose, we need a certain plan of action is important. Another important thing is, this primary, secondary, tertiary sector should not be neglected, even subsector and these important sectors of the country. For that purpose, at the sectoral base, all the three sectoral issue level and also even subsectoral levels also, we need some kind of plan, proper plan. For that purpose, we need a plan of action. And as far as social justice, unless we have this social justice, what is the use of economical power? No use. That's why disparity, social justice is also the part of this one. That's why to this inclusive growth, in other words, inclusiveness. So inclusiveness is more important than the economical power. Of course, unless we have the major economical power, we can't achieve the inclusive. That's why these two are important. So while growing, putting the most important focus on the economic growth process, we need to concentrate much more on the inclusiveness. For that purpose, we need a plan of action. Otherwise, we can't. At the regional level, sub-regional level, at the sectoral level, at sub-sectoral level, at this various sex like women inclusiveness, various caste, various sections, various communities, various reasons. And also various dimensions of the society. For example, environmental protection, that is also very important, because in the coming 25 years, India is going to face very important trouble regarding the environmental. So that should be the part, that is need, that is also the sustainable development. So in this way, we need a proper document, vision document, road map for the next 25 years, so that we can become do this all efforts, this as a cakewalk, and India is going to achieve inclusiveness. That's why we need plan document. So in this way we should focus this one. So the thing is, this is also 250 words, 150 words, this 150, this 250 words. So students should be very careful. So before going to attempt produce your answer, you should understand this question properly. For understanding, what do you mean by understanding the question? So you should identify the 5 subparts, 5 important components of each and every question, so that we can, for example, question tags, and also these keywords, the content words, third is content words, fourth is limiting words, the fifth is the subparts of a question. You should satisfy, so that we can get at least 60% of marks in each and every question at the UPSC level or other great examination level. So practice is very important. One thing is, I want to tell you one thing is, attempt daily questions, write daily. So over a period of time, you will be in a position to produce very effective answers. Thank you very much.